Hey everybody, it's Michelle LaVore
and Devin Moore coming at ya.
And so we are, last night.
You guys were just super mega ultra lightning McQueen stoked.
Yeah. Last night God just gave us, I don't know, it's like we were getting flooded with a fire hydrant of just like one thing after another. And it was just really awesome. And so I wanted to share one of the things that God was showing us. And so a few days ago, I think it was on the 16th or something.
For any of you guys out there that have issues and questions about how God uses prophetic numbers, watch this video.
Yeah.
Watch what's going to happen right now.
Yeah.
As I try not to interrupt 17 more times.
Yep. Well, here's number one.
Number one. I'm doing good.
So we really felt a few nights ago like God was just like, hey, I want you to start studying the Hebrew alphabet, and it was something we were interested in, but it was just like God was just like, all right, it's time. It's time for class, because we were praying, the kids were in bed, and we were just like, all right, so Lord, do you want us to just pray, spend time with you? And we both just felt like God was like, okay, go to class, go to school, kind of thing.
He put it on my heart. He was like, what about the Hebrew letters? Let's do that. I'm like, oh, that's like less, than I was expecting. But all right, cool. We can go to class.
Yeah, and so we did that. We were watching a video about just, going through each of the Hebrew letters and all of that.
That was the night of the 16th.
Yeah. And so then...
which is the same day I bought Joa the shirt.
Yeah.
That'll make sense in a second.
So the next morning, wake up, and we're during God time. Our son has his new shirt on, and it has the number 72 on it. Mm-hmm. And it was very much like, I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, wow, this is a number. We've never gotten the number 72 before. But I'm like, this is definitely a number. And at first I was just like, okay, because a lot of times you might see a number and you think, okay, is this a number or not? But you're not sure. And so you just kind of let God...
Because it kind of stands out to you.
It does stand out.
Why is this standing out to me?
Yeah. And so you can let God kind of continue to... Is God going to continue to bring this up? Or is this just kind of one of those, okay, I saw it and it's nothing. And so we were doing worship, and there was a song, and it had all 7s and 2s in it. And so I'm like...
It's crazy. It was like 1,727,772.
Or something, yeah.
Views.
I was like
I have never seen that in my life.
And so I'm like, okay, the 7s and 2s. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's 7s and 2s. God's speaking something about 7s and 2s. But at the same time, I was also like mulling over I'm like, I wonder if I need to look this up in the Hebrew, because in Hebrew, the alphabet, all of the letters of the alphabet also have numbers associated with them, value.
Yeah. And it was a difficult number, because it was like, it's not something you can look up in the Bible. You look up 72 in the Bible, and it's not there.
Yeah.
There's no 72 this, or you can look up 70. 70 is all over the place. Yeah. But 72 does not exist.
Yeah. And so it was like, okay, well that's not where we're going. And I was thinking it was the 72 like together. Mm-hmm. And so I did some... I went to...
You want to tell them what you did the first time?
Yeah. So the first time around, it was just like I put a 7 and a 2 together, the two Hebrew letters. One means 7,
which I thought was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to share?
Yeah.
I thought it was still pretty cool.
So out of it, and honestly, as God continues to reveal, I realized like this was cool, but this wasn't what God was really speaking when I saw the 72s. Mm-hmm. But it basically, the 7 and the 2 is the word falcon.
Those two individual letters.
Yeah, those two individual letters.
Yeah.
Is the word falcon. Mm-hmm. And it's a bird of prey, and it can also be used biblically for spoils.
And gathering spoils and stuff like that. And I was like, yes!
It was like,
which reminded me of Lana Vosser's word about the gathering of the spoils. And God has been doing this whole bird thing with us lately. Yeah. And I'm just like with Genesis 1:22 and the Annalise's vision about the bird coming and picking us up on the mountain.
Yeah.
And White Dove Ministries with their eagle and dove thing. So it seemed to fit.
Yeah.
But there was a part of, I think for both of us, we were like,
no, this it's not a settled matter.
Something's not right here.
Yeah.
This is, if this was darts, we almost got the bullseye.
Yeah.
Almost. You know?
And then later on that day, I think it was later that evening, we were looking, and the house that our dream house ended up, we go and look at it, and has been on the market again. It's actually been on the market for like over 2 years, but they took it off the market, put it back on, and since they put it back on, it's been 72 days. On
the 17th. This is all happening on May 17th.
Yeah.
And on that day, we get the number 72. And on that day, the house had been on the market 72 days.
Yeah.
And this is way more about than just the house, but at the same time, it is about the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, like,
it's way 72. More than just us getting the house. You see what I'm saying? It's like I said in that at the tail end of our last video, there's a way bigger picture going on here.
Yeah.
And we want to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
Just through this one number.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is just crazy, because we've had that happen before to us. That
made sense.
Okay, yeah.
That made sense. Just roll with it.
Yeah,
roll
okay.
with it.
We had that before where God gave us the number 616, and at that time, we went.
Wow, yeah.
We figured out like, okay, God was speaking about John chapter 6 verses 16. It's talking about the story of, the disciples were rowing, and then Jesus steps into their boat, and that day that we got that number, again, it was late at night. You were like, okay, let me check the house. And it had been on the market for 616 days. And we were just like...
This is the second time that this has happened to us.
So this is the second time that this has happened. And it's not like we check it every day or anything like that. It's just randomly we're like, hey, let's go look at it. We'll go like a whole
week and not look at it.
We're like, hey, let's look at it. It'll be so fun. You just like looking at the dream that's in front of you.
Yeah.
And so again, it's like, wow, God, you've done this twice now.
Twice.
Like, that's just crazy. And then yesterday...
The third time we're going to be in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then yesterday, why don't you go ahead and share about the receipt?
Oh, yes. So we've been on this Cracker Barrel thing. I think yesterday was the last time, because I was like, we can't come here. We're just done because for many reasons.
Too many blueberry pancakes.
I'm like, we can't do this. It's like really inexpensive, but it's like, okay, I'm getting fatter. And we've kind of run out of food options, honestly, for the kids. But anyway, that's an aside. Now, remember the last time I went with Elia, me and Elia went, he didn't eat anything. It was just me. And, I had my blueberry pancakes. They're so yummy. But we were sitting at table 222.
Yeah.
And I about lost it. I lost it, right? We're sitting at a different table. So this time, we're sitting at table 222.
Yeah, we were at
Lord
a different
Jesus,
table.
We're at a different table. He's like, I know. Isn't that cool? Not only that, but it says 222 of 2.
Yeah.
So really, on the receipt, there on the table, it's a 2222.
Yeah. Which God for us has been speaking Isaiah 22:22.
Yeah, like a crazy amount. Ever since we've been in this hotel room, right? And then our order number was 3335.
Yeah.
So that's a 333. But then our guest's number was 5. So I guess they didn't count Isaiah, the baby.
Yeah.
So you got a 333 and then a 55 there, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, wow.
Yeah.
This is the kind of day we had yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was like we were under machine gun fire from the Lord. But it was all good stuff. You know what I mean? It was just coming at us. Talk about it's like Jesus coming at you.
Yeah.
I'm like, Lord, no, we're supposed to say that. We're supposed to do that. You can't do that to us. It's like, oh, you want to bet? Of course, we're just playing around. We love Jesus. We want him to come at us as much as he wants. And so that was like a thing. Okay, we're just laying out the foundation here. And like basically from this point on, oh my gosh, I was getting 33s and 55s like crazy, right? Particularly the 33s. And I'm not kidding you guys, it was flooding like it's never done. I mean, even you were talking yesterday about the acceleration of things.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. Okay, but anyway, we checked out at exactly 5:19. And I'm like, wow, babe, do you realize we checked out at 5:19?
Yeah, and
on 5:19?
I know. At first I was like, so? What's so great about 5:19? And
I'm just like,
but it's May 19th.
Yeah, that's a 5:19, and we checked out at 5:19. That's like a double, triple number, you know? And I'm like, that's like a 55 and a 1919. That's the key right there. And so we came back, we got some revelation on Isaiah 33:3, and we felt like the Lord was like, yes, you got that. Okay, now let's go to the next thing.
Yeah.
Now listen to me, guys. That is the way our entire day was for the rest of the day. I'm not kidding. It was like, okay, you got that? All right, cool. All right, now get this. Just like you were saying.
Yeah.
But I edited that part out of the video. But yesterday she was comparing like our life to like this prep stage and the rested, set, go. And the set part was where God was just like, okay, you got this and you need this, and like we were going to camp, and He just kept packing us with more stuff, like a overly anxious mother. Of course, God's not anxious, but they want to make sure you got everything you need. And that's the way our day was yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. So. I mean, I know this was at 5:19, but from that point on, it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And so we got revelation on that, and then the 55. So I was editing yesterday's video, the Rested, Set, Go video, after everyone was gone to bed and all that stuff, and because that's basically the only chance I get to do it nowadays, because our nights are so late. And so I'm editing the video, and again, guys, I say this all the time, and I'm gonna say it again. We are not looking for this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like somebody that has a prophetic gift or a gift of discernment. It's a great example of how it works. You come into a room, and naturally you got all this information coming at you. Mm-hmm. You got all this spiritual understanding going on. Whoa, there's a demon here. Whoa, there's some issues going on here. And it can be the positive too. I've walked into people's homes and be like, whoa, the presence of God is here. That's just the way it is. You're not looking for that stuff. It just comes at you. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so that's what was happening to us yesterday. I mean, it was furious. So I was editing the video, and as I'm editing the video, I keep getting 55, 33, 19, 50, just in random places, because with editing videos, you deal with a lot of numbers. But man, they were jumping at me like neon,
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have a gift. I just have to stop editing this video. I got to figure out what these 19s mean.
Yeah.
Because 19 is clearly a number. I saw 919, and I was just on the clock, and I mean, I'm seeing these play in random places, not just on the clock.
Yeah.
These are not just numbers you see on a clock. And I'm just like, I mean, they were overwhelming me. They were practically jumping on me and just getting me in a rear naked choke, saying, hey, you need to look at me. And I'm just like, okay, we'll look at you. Mm-hmm. And over the past couple days, we've been talking about mercy. So that's kind of how this relates. And so I knew, I was like, all right, I need the 19s, but Lord, we haven't even got revelation on the 55s yet. I feel like we're a super busy restaurant, and there's all these customers that are coming in. And we're like, I can't handle them. I'm in the weeds. You know what I mean? And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to look up. I'm just going to start with 55, because I just believe, based on my research, I think 55 means mercy, because God shared that with us. Yeah. The one hand coming at you. I've got a lot of visions of God using one hand, and it represents power and authority and breaking and all that. But there's been only 2 times where God's used both hands. Mm-hmm. And in both hands, it's completely opposite vibe. It's like a tender mercy. I get the word tender mercy. And it's like when you hold a baby. Mm-hmm. You use both hands. You're not just going to use one hand and go, oh, I got the baby. You're not going to do that. You're going to be like, oh, I got the baby. And so the 2 times that I felt, well, there was one time where I saw him take both of his hands, and because we were like a tree. Right? Mm-hmm. And we're back in Kansas City, we compared ourselves to like a tree. Well, God was comparing us to like a tree, and we were in a cave, and we were hiding, and we were being nurtured only by the light of God coming down and making us grow. And then he said, I'm going to scoop you up one day, and I'm going to place you in a different ground. And that's what he did by moving us here.
Yeah. But we're still being carried.
We're still in his hands.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh, I'm just going to bust and gush, and all this stuff's going to come out, and they're going to be like, that sounds cool. What are you talking about? Because I'm having a hard time doing line upon line and precept upon precept. So it's like, that's what he's going to do. So again, he like takes our family and he's like got us with both hands, right? Mm-hmm. And then another time he put it both hands on the house we're believing for. And that's the only 2 times I've ever seen him use both hands. Every other vision I got is always just one hand, right? And so I was like, okay, well, listen, I know 55 means mercy. It's the tender mercy of God. He just really loves and cares for you, you know? I remember one time, this is an offshoot, but she will talk eventually. Hold your horses. But I was standing in the kitchen in Kansas City, deep in the mire of everything that we're going through, and I'm just like, Lord, this is just, I don't know what's going on. I don't like this. I wonder if we're even doing the right thing, all that. And it was just like, man, I don't know. Sometimes, Lord, I just feel like you're just going to do what you're going to do and you don't even care. You're more about your big picture. And if we fit into it, you know, that's the captivity church mindset coming out there. You're just going to do what you're going to do and all that. And man, the Lord, it was like the Lord was right there with me. And he was heartbroken by hearing me say that. And he was just like, he was looking at me like, Devin, I love your family. I mean, the intensity with which he said that, the depth of feeling, he was like, how can you say that? Like, I love your family. And he was holding both hands. So I guess that is 3 visions, but he wasn't laying his hands or grabbing it, but it was just like, I love your family. And so just all that to say, man, the tender mercy of God, you know, which kind of goes along with this mercy thing that God's been. And so I looked up mercy. I was like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the word mercy. I'm going to type it up into the Strong's Concordance, because you can't go to Bible Gateway and type in mercy, because if you're using the Amplified version, it's going to appear in a different spot first. Yeah. If you're using the King James, it's going to appear in a different spot first or whatever. So I was like, I'm just going to go to Concordance, which is what the original language is based off of. Or it's based off of the original language. Anyway, and so I type it in, mercy, and I'm thinking 55, because that's what the 55 means. I type up the word mercy, and the first place that mercy appears is in Genesis 19:19. I fell out, I freaked out, and then I got up and I did a little shout. Hallelujah. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, this was insane. I was like, I told you. I was like, these are numbers. I don't know why they were jumping out at me, but it was like, I knew I was supposed to separate them into 55 and 19:19. You know, because we were getting revelation for everything else. We already knew what the 22 meant. We got revelation on the 33:3 or the 3:33, but it turned out to be 33:3 in Isaiah. We were getting revelation for all this stuff, you know. I mean, technically on that receipt, we got 3 55s. So it's like a triple. It's like a manifestation. Wow, I just realized that. It's a manifestation, because when you get 3 numbers, there's like the manifest presence of God on that number or something, whatever he's doing, generally. But it's like the manifest presence of the tender mercy of God is getting ready to touch your life. Yeah. You know? But wait, there's more.
So Devin
just
was
keep in mind the 72, okay?
Yeah, so he was talking, he showed me, he's like, oh my gosh, like the first time in Genesis 19:19 mercy is used. And I was like, hey, what is the value of the word mercy?
The numerical value.
There's, when in Hebrew, there's always a numerical value. So we
to
found
every letter.
You know, at the top of the Strong's Concordance, it's actually written out in Hebrew. And so then we looked up, okay, which letter is it and how much is it valued? And
there's only 3 letters.
Yeah, there's only 3 letters.
For Hebrew.
And so...
I mean, for mercy.
Then we...
For Hebrew. Hebrew only has 3 letters.
Yeah.
It's an easy language.
It's super easy. So we took the numbers and we added them up. And we add the 3 numbers up and it equals 72. So the numerical value of mercy is 72. And it was just like
72.
That is what God has been speaking for the last few days. He has been
since
talking
the 17th
about His mercy. His mercy,
what?
And we did a video already about the mercy of God. And it was just like, we were both like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, that is what He is talking about, is His mercy. And it
started with the 72. See, that's the thing. Sometimes God will start a conversation with a number because He's trying to lead you to something, because He wants you to be interested. Not that we wouldn't be interested if He said, hey, I want you to go read the book of Leviticus. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do it at night. Yeah. But I will do it for sure, because I know if God's saying, hey, I want you to do this, there's something in it for you. There's a treasure in it for you. It's like I said, we kind of made a video about this last night that we weren't going to publish. But it was like, that's how God plays treasure hunt. Yeah. He hides treasures, but you have to seek for them. You know, if you're one of those people that's just waiting to be fed, you are never going to know the Lord. Never. You're never going to know Him really. Not the way He wants to be known by you, you know? Okay, sorry to have to interrupt the video flow like this and get on the computer camera and all that. Michelle's over there. Say hi, Michelle.
Hi.
You're supposed to say hi, Michelle. No, I'm kidding. But we forgot a super important part. It's almost like a part 3. We gave you part 1 of the story. It's like we kind of gave him like the beginning and the middle. We didn't give him the end. We didn't give him the grand finale revelation. So in keeping with the 72 and how God also used the 55 and the 19 to lead us to it's almost like God's using all these things to say the one thing, which is mercy, mercy, mercy. I'm giving you mercy. I'm saying yes, you know. And so one of the things that we also did is I looked up the number 72 in and of itself, and like and so I found this website on biblical GENATRIA. Is that how you say it? I don't know if that's how you say it. But it's Bible numbers and their definitions and all that stuff. And so I have this list here of Bible, like all things that have the value that end in 72. But the word, like when you take the number 70 and the number 2 and put it together, it creates the word. I don't know what the word is, but it means when you take the number 70 and 2, and the cool part is mercy in and of itself equals 72 when you add the numbers together. But if you take the number 70 and the number 2 and you put it in that Hebrew to English translator, it comes out with this particular word. Oh, this is amazing. It comes out with this word that means darkness or blackness. Yeah, that's encouraging, isn't it? No, not really, but actually it is. But this is what it means. It says darkness or blackness, especially of a cloud. Oh my goodness gracious. It says a cloud, a gloomy spot, a dark thicket. And at the end, it says a threshold or a step. I'm like, what? How do you go from dark blackness to a threshold and a step? You know, and right away, I mean, it was just amazing, right? We were like, oh my gosh, the Lord is totally speaking to us about our house and having mercy. But what is this? But again, it's more than just the house and God saying, I am telling you yes to that. It's more than just that, because, you know, you don't normally associate darkness and blackness and gloominess with the glory of God, right? But it took me back, when I read that, it took me back to this vision I had back when we were in Kansas City. God was giving us all these visions of Him appearing to us in the wilderness and all that stuff. And of course, you guys are familiar with the whole vortex vision of us surrounding Jesus. That again was a thing in the wilderness. But some of those visions have come to pass. Some of them are yet to come to pass. But one of the visions He gave me, which kind of freaked me out, was this vision of Him standing in the wilderness, and He's doing one of these numbers, you know. He looks mean. And when I first got it, I was like, see, this is the enemy trying to get in there and throw his stuff in there. But the Lord showed me, He's like, no, that is me. And it was Jesus. He was going, you know. And when He did that, when he was doing that, he was standing in the desert. He had just arrived and got off of this horse, and there's this huge, massive, dark cloud that came and just darkened the whole land. And I was kind of freaked out because I was like, whoa, that's not good. And then from that, and he raised his hands and he was just like, ah. And man, it was like torrential downpour. It was a deluge. And it was back when I was doing those deluge prophetic words. It was during that whole time. Don't you know right now it is 2:22? I am not even going to edit this part. Anyway, so there was this massive deluge. It was the rain was so heavy that I could barely see Jesus. It was not a crystal clear vision of Jesus. It was so intense, but it was almost like it's like William Wallace in Braveheart after a major battle. And he had that look on his face, and I knew. Just by the Spirit, the Lord was saying, this is my vindication. This is my vengeance. This is what I'm getting ready to pour out. But it came in a dark, gloomy cloud. Now, it's kind of funny because you don't normally associate darkness with God, right? But a lot of times the scriptures will say stuff, not necessarily a lot of times, but there are times where the scripture says, God dwells in the darkness or something like that. It relates God to darkness. I know there's the Mount of Transfiguration and the dedication of the temple where there was a bright, white, shiny cloud that came on. That was the Lord. But then the dark cloud was also the Lord as well. Like when he came to, like what Michelle just reminded me, he came to appear for the first time in person to the nation of Israel that he had just brought out of Egypt through the hand of Moses. Was through his hand, but you know what I mean. And so, but he came and there was this huge dark cloud and the people were freaked out at the sight. They were like, whoa, even Moses was freaked out. But it says, whoa, I am terrified, but I'm going in. And it says, Moses drew into the darkness where God was. And I was like, whoa, it was amazing. And then this part at the end of this thing, this word 72. That means darkness or blackness. At the end, it can also mean a threshold or a step. Like the number 2, the bet. It generally means tent or family or house or something like that. But it also can mean in or into. So when I was getting the 221s, God was like, you're going into the Psalm 21 lifestyle. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So it's like, again, God is like confirming like my hand is upon your receiving this home and receiving this new life that I want to elevate you into. Both my hands, my tender hand of mercy is upon it. But also, I gave this prophetic word, what was it, back in January, about the vindication of the Lord. God's like, I'm also going to do that as well. There's going to be just a vindication that comes and pours down. And I mean, it was just so muddy and drenched and wet just all around. We were soaking. But it was like that sense of you're going to be soaking in the vindication of God. You're going to be drenched. I'm talking like tsunami type stuff in the vindication of God. It's not going to be just a little something here and a little something there. We're talking cataclysmic, phenomenal breakthrough. So I just wanted to throw that other little extra piece in and hope that all of this video has truly encouraged you guys. Divine interruptions. But anyway, well, I don't remember where I was, to be totally honest with you. But I will say this. This is why I love it. I've said this before. I love it when God gives us completely, totally random, bizarre numbers that aren't like a 55 or a 111 like it is right now. It's 111. Unbelievable. Because I know it's like a verily, verily I say unto you kind of number. It's like, man, I really want you to get this. So I'm going to start this now with you buying this shirt of the new 2017 Ford GT with the number 72 on it for your son. And then it's like Michelle's going to see it and she's going to be like, man, that is really a number for us. And then you're going to see later on that your house has been on sale on this day for 72 days. I want to cement that in you. And then we began listening to songs and such about where the mercy of God just really jumps out at us and just squeezes our heart into just a pulp of mess and just worship to the Lord, just about the mercy of God. And we made a couple videos on it now about the mercy and how it's continued to just increase in our lives. The mercy, and then we listened to that White Doves Ministries video about basically the kindness and the truth.
Yeah.
The Spirit of God coming in mercy to deliver the truth, not just truth ripping you to pieces.
Yeah.
And it's like there's been this mercy thing. And then last night we go to Cracker Barrel, which is like basically our favorite place right now. Well, we're not going there anymore. PB&J it is. And so, but it's like all those numbers that we just talked about, and it's just like all of it leads to mercy. And I just feel like the Lord is saying through that, it's like if you're going to inherit that, it's like since you have inherited the 22-22 mantle, you have to do it in mercy. All that to say that God is like, he's speaking mercy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just felt the Lord say, like, for us personally, that his two hands of mercy are on our house. And we began remembering visions about our house being a garden, because it's at the end of like a cul-de-sac. It's like the best house on the block, as far as I'm concerned. And it's like a garden. And the door is facing east, and it's like there's so many garden. We were in a garden season there for a while, and our house had everything to do with that season and everything. And so it's like, I don't know. We just thought that was really an awesome thing to share.
Yeah. It was very cool.
Yeah.
So that's really what we have for you guys today. We just wanted to share that. We thought it was just so awesome how God was using not only numbers but also the Hebrew alphabet to just speak to us, and that was something new that he's been introducing to us. And I don't know, it was so amazing that he's using all these things, all these tools to speak to us mercy. And I think with the tools, it allows God, I think, to bring emphasis and confirmation to what he's saying.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, you are saying this. God is like, I want to have mercy on my people. I want to have mercy on the world right now. And so it's so awesome, and such just amazing ways that God speaks to us. And so we just hope that you guys are encouraged and blessed by this video. And
72.
I know, of all numbers.
It was like that. We can't even find that in the Bible. That can't be God. That's how I think a lot of times. You might not think that that's how I think, but that's how I think a lot of times. That can't be the Lord. That is not the Lord. It's 72. It just, we've been too much into the numbers lately, and I think we're getting bamboozled. Nope. God's like, oh, you think that? Okay, let me throw this at you.
Yeah.
Mercy. The numerical value of mercy is 72. That is insane. It's like, wow. And we were led to it by a receipt that had like all the. I mean, I'd like to tell the story a whole another time, and I'm just not going to do that to you.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed.
So until next time,
guys,
we will see you later.
Love you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Bless you guys. And we will keep up. I'm just done.
Yeah.
My heart is just such a pudding of like praise and like awe of God right now. I can't even talk right. I can't even end a video.
So how about I just end it?
I thought you did, and then I jumped in.
And then you keep going.
And I just keep going because it's just oozing out of me, man. It's oozing out. Please stop the video now. I'm hurt.
Until next time, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Look, they're going, you should do that to him more often. You should do Bye.
Bye. Hey everybody, it's Michelle LaVore and Not Ready.
Coming at you. It's Michelle LaVore and Not Ready.
All right.
Let's do that again.
Okay.
I was so somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like I'm not somewhere else most of the time. Anyway.
All right.
I was off frolicking through the kingdom of Revelation.
That's a good place to go.
That's a good place to go. All right, let's do that again.
Okay.
Everything is baba, nana, kaka. Oh, let's take the kaka out. Okay, go ahead. so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So,
okay. Wait, do a 1, 2, 3.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
So, say bye-bye, Michelle.
Bye-bye, Michelle.
Anyway, we love you guys. See you later. That's funny.